Quick video today because we do have some news from BMW. The new X7 is going to go through this Neue Klasse transformation, even though it doesn't look as Neue Klasse to me as the iX3, which I think is going to be a vehicle that's actually going to grow on me pretty quickly, to be honest, when I see it in real life. So we have these. We have the spy photos from Car Scoops. We have the rendering from Car Scoops down here as well. Not too big of a change from the current generation, to be honest. We still, of course, have the bumper headlights, which I wish they would have removed by now and just put the headlights where you're expected to see them up top. But we're going to have a look at this design from this front view, compare it to the camouflaged image right here, and see what we can take from this. If the rendering actually looks like the spy photo, I think it does. I think it's pretty close to what the spy photo, what's hiding underneath the camouflage of the spy photo is. Before we do that, let's check out this Car Scoops article and see what this is all about. So BMW's largest SUV is about to get a lot more interesting. X7 gets a major redesign inspired by iX3's Neue Klasse styling. Panoramic vision tech adds a massive pillar-to-pillar digital display in the interior. I hate to see it, but that's what we're getting from BMW. Gasoline and diesel engines stay, joined by the first all-electric iX7. And here you can see the renderings. The new one right here, the old one. I think the new one, if it looks like this, it's actually going to be a pretty stately-looking vehicle, to be honest. The old one, I definitely prefer the pre-facelift without these bumper headlights. When we have the headlights in the regular position, it looks so much better than the facelift. Controversially, the X7 retains its split headlamp array with the DRLs mounted high up against the hood line, whilst the main beams are repositioned into square units lower down. I'm going to let you know why I don't think this is a good idea and why I don't think it looks great. When we jump into Photoshop, it just ruins the personality of any vehicles when we have bumper headlights. So the redesigned twin kidneys remain equally as bold as before, but now feature lighting elements in place of chrome, and the lower intake is more rectangular in shape. I don't think BMW is going to go as wild as Mercedes did with the GLC, with, what was it, like 350 stars in the front end or something like that, in addition to a chrome frame for the grille that's also illuminated. I mean, it gets a little crazy from Mercedes these days. So where the Neue Klasse aesthetic really takes hold is in the side profile, where the front and rear fenders, along with a smooth, flush surfacing, draw clear parallels to the recently revealed iX3. As I said, I'm a fan of the iX3. So here we have the spy photos, and looking at these proportions here, it looks pretty good to me. We have a proper stately hood here, upright front end, almost a 90-degree corner right here. This is what we want to see on the biggest BMW ever made. We want to see some big proportions, some very geometric shapes, and we have the A-pillar going down here right to the top of the front wheel like we want to see in an SUV. The proportions to me look great. It doesn't look bad at all. You can see the quad exhaust pipes here, meaning that we of course still going to have some noise coming from this vehicle. So conventional door handles are gone, replaced by subtle winglets. You can see them right here, I do believe, or maybe not, it's very hard to see them, but similar to what we have on the Mustang Mach-E, for example. Not sure if that's a good idea. Stuff like that, just it feels like if that breaks, it's just gonna be such an unnecessary thing to break. Just make regular door handles. I mean, we don't have to keep adding tech and electronics to every single feature of the car. Just opening the door, for example, it doesn't make sense. So it has more of that traditional Hofmeister kink right here in the back. Great to see that coming back. You got split tailgates remains, and the taillights will be slimmer LED units, and performance variants will sport quad tailpipes, and that is the one we see right here in these spy photos with the quad tailpipes. BMW will introduce its panoramic iDrive infotainment system in the new X7, a pillar-to-pillar display at the base of the windshield with customizable sections. I don't want to customize my sections. I want BMW to tell me what they think is a great interior and then stick to that. 3D head-up display and a large central touch display for key infotainment functions. You can see the interior here. We have this massive display at the base of the windshield. We have I do think this is angular steel with the infotainment screen in the middle. Interesting looking steering wheel. I do think, yeah, this is the iX3. The steering wheel looks very futuristic, very concept-like, even though this is, I think this is the production version of this. We'll likely follow the new iX3 in terms of cleaner surfacing and reduced clutter, but with more glass inlays. Not the right direction I want to see you go in. Hands-off capabilities for motorway driving and city assist with the traffic light detection. Expect adaptive air suspension with adaptive dampers, possibly including rear axle steering and active anti-roll bar. I think rear axle steering for this type of vehicle with this long of a wheelbase would probably be a pretty good idea. Now, alongside petrol and diesel engines, there will be an electric iX7 variant for the first time using the iX3 as a guide. You can expect it to have the same dual motor version pumping out 463 horsepower. Maybe they give it a little bit more boost in this, the big brother, the iX7. Looking at the front end here, the kidneys look very structural, very geometric kidneys. This might actually be a very clean looking design. I just wish the headlights sat in this area right here instead of all alone blacked out, covered up in the lower section, in the center section of the bumper. It would make for such a better design if the headlights still were in their regular place. You have a thumping 800 horsepower M70s on the roster alongside an even more powerful Alpina version. Hopefully they keep those multi-spoke Alpina wheels. They're so beautiful, those wheels, specifically on an E38 7 Series. Fantastic wheels. The system will use an 800 volt architecture with a 110 kilowatt cylindrical cell battery pack. You also get a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6 with 48 volt mild hybrid technology to continue. Alongside the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 derived from the S68. That has been around for a very long time. Great engine. They can still keep that in production for a very long time moving forward. The 40D X-Drive inline 6 diesel will also return. Cool to have a diesel for this X7. An official reveal is scheduled for sometime between late 2026 and 2027, so we're still a ways away from the reveal, a year or so. Both the X7 and the iX7 will be produced in South Carolina. Not any tariffs for the new X7, if that is the case. So let's jump in Photoshop here. Let's check out this design. So this is the facelifted X7 up here. And I was never really a fan of this, simply because they changed up this area right here. And if you look at the key graphics here, first of all, we have the kidneys starting up here. We have the headlight unit or the daytime run lights in a lower section sitting down here. And then we have the headlight unit in a very interesting position, just as an afterthought. That is the reason why I don't like this. It doesn't, like, the headlight to me is the eyeball of the car. It's such a big part of the personality of the vehicle, the face of the car when you look at it. Even though, yes, we do have the daytime lights taking that position up here, but I still want to have the main headlight unit being connected with the daytime run lights. Sitting underneath something like this would be so much better in my opinion. And then we have these complex graphics that BMW has been playing around with for a long time now. At least 5 years moving back in the lower section. I mean, there's just too much going on in this area right here. But other than that, the pre-facelift definitely was a pretty handsome looking BMW, to be honest. And it looks like we're going back to a more subtle design with this Neue Klasse styling that I love to see, of course, from BMW coming back with the X7 here, because we have a very flat hood and we have almost, as I said, a 90-degree angle here, clear two-box design. We have one box here for the greenhouse, and then of course another box right here for the front end and the hood. And I think this looks very, very cool. It's a nicely proportioned big SUV designed in a way that I want to see from BMW. The only thing is, look at the headlight unit. What is going on inside here? We have one piece sticking up in this angle, then we have a horizontal piece down low, and this looks to be the main headlight unit. I'm not entirely sure what is going on with the internal pieces of the headlights, because keep in mind, we're still going to have the daytime run lights up here connecting to the grills that sit something like this. They are connected here in the middle, as you can see, the two kidneys. on the X7. So very interesting to see, and I think this is actually very close to what the production version is going to look like. We can see some body lines here, how it carves in and creates some muscle over the front and also the rear axle in this case. And I do think this is very close to what the renderings are showing, what the spy photos are showing. I also like this line in the bottom, creating this nice chamfer. You can see how it's reflecting the ground, creating a darker area in the lower section, removing a lot of this mass, because this is such a tall vehicle that we need to do whatever we can graphically to make it feel a little bit more agile than what it actually is when it comes to proportions. Look at the front end. I do like how the Daytona Lens connects to the grille here. And I actually like the design of the grille itself. Now, instead of chrome, we have blacked out features, framing, and we also have this illuminated piece for the grille on the outside of the kidneys itself. And you can see this lower section down here. This is still pretty complicated to me, but we're getting there. So BMW is slowly getting there when it comes to dialing it down a little bit, this screaming, the shoutiness of their designs. And I also like that we have parallel lines here and vertical lines. This is what we want to see in a big brother like the X7 is. So a lot of parallel lines connecting to each other in the front end, in addition to this beautiful, gorgeous hood up top. Nice looking wheels. Not sure if these are the production wheels, but I wouldn't mind having these as the production wheels. They look absolutely fantastic. So big news from BMW. Every single model is getting the Neue Klasse refresh. We don't have the Z4 anymore, which is a shame. Would have loved to see the Z4 with the Neue Klasse styling as well.